Commander Valor of the Relari Union sat on his ship's bridge, staring at the black screen. "This can't be right," he said. No response came from Earth, not from Mars, not even from the human stations near Jupiter. Valor's assistant, Yen Till, looked nervous. "All their channels are empty, sir. Human colonies, they are silent." Valor stood up. He had seen wars, ambushes, pirate attacks, but never this. Complete silence from the noisiest species in the galaxy. They never go. "Quiet," Valor whispered. "Never." He sent a direct ping to Earth's orbital command. Nothing. He pinged their AI defense grid. Still nothing. He switched to emergency diplomatic channels, used only in times of war. No reply. Then, for the first time in over 100 years, the Galactic Council's emergency alert activated. Red lights blinked across the bridge. An urgent message flashed. "Humanity is missing." The Council reacts. A few hours later, representatives from 38 species sat in the Galactic Hall. Tension filled the air. President Carthon of the Varaki Alliance slammed his fist on the table. "This is impossible! Earth had 200 active colonies. Where are they?" High Speaker Zol, a six-eyed insectoid, buzzed loudly. "We demand answers. We rely on human trade. Their patrols kept the pirate sectors in check." Even the silent Ixari. The ancient watchers from the galaxy's edge had arrived, something they hadn't done in decades. Only one seat remained empty, the human chair, always occupied. Always loud. Now nothing. The mission to Sol. "We need answers," Carthon declared. "Send a scout to their home system. Find out what happened." Commander Valor was chosen. He had worked with humans for years. He had fought beside them during the Void Beast crisis. If anyone could speak to humans, it was him. His ship, the Star Whisper, jumped to Sol. When Valor arrived near Pluto, his crew gasped. Human satellites, gone. Their defense grid offline. No ships, no patrols, no warning beacons. Maybe they're hiding, Yentil said. "A test?" Valor didn't think so. They moved toward Earth. Still no contact. Then, near the moon, a strange object floated in space. It was a human message drone, one of the old ones, rarely used now. Valor brought it aboard. The drone activated on its own. A small hologram lit up. It was a human face. Female, calm. Her voice spoke clearly, slowly, in galactic common. "To those who listen, we are not gone. We are not hiding. We are done. This galaxy is not ready. We have seen enough. We choose to leave. Do not follow. Do not search. What comes next is your test." Then the hologram vanished. The drone melted itself into ash. Valor stared at the smoke. They left. On purpose? The panic begins. The news spread faster than light. Humans left the galaxy. But why? Some thought it was a trick. Others feared the worst. Trade routes collapsed. Pirates returned to areas humans once protected. Planets that depended on Earth for medicine and tech were now helpless. The Zarnak Empire tried to claim human colonies in Sector 12, but when they landed, the entire planet was already empty. Cities were clean, lights were still on, but no humans remained. Not a single body. Not a drop of blood. Just emptiness. Alien reactions. Some species celebrated. They were too powerful anyway, said the Mokar warlords. "Now we can grow!" Some wept. The Thalnari had been close allies to Earth. Their queen said, "We trusted them. We shared dreams. Why would they leave without a word?" And some feared. The Drac Syndicate, known for spying, intercepted a hidden human message days before they vanished. It read, "This galaxy cannot change. We must. If we remain, we become like them. So we go to remain who we are." The Drax leaders burned the message. If the humans changed because of us, one of them said, "We may have just doomed ourselves." Mysterious signals weeks passed. Ships that tried to enter deep human space vanished. Probes sent into Sol returned with corrupted data, full of static and strange codes. One probe captured a single image, a massive human ship, unknown design, floating silently near Saturn. Its hull had no weapons, no markings, but it glowed with energy never seen before. Then the image cut off, and the probe exploded. Was it a warning? The message tower on. The far edge of the Orion Arm, a forgotten planet, had once been gifted to a small species, the Kelly. There, a tall black tower stood, built by humans years ago. It had never activated. Now it did. It broadcast one line on all channels. Humanity has stepped back. Now we watch. What will you become without us? Then it went silent again. Valar's report. When Valar returned to the council, he stood before all the races and said, "They didn't run. They didn't lose. They chose to leave." And they left. No trace. Only questions. Carthon shouted, "But why? Why?" Valar looked tired. "Because maybe they gave up on us." The room fell silent. Galaxy. Without humans, trade collapsed. Peace treaties failed. Rogue AI systems spread. Ancient threats, once controlled by human forces, began to wake. Civil wars erupted between species. But worst of all, hope faded. Because even those who hated humans knew one thing. When Earth was there, someone strong was watching. Now, they were alone. The skies over Zarnak Prime were filled with fire. 3 of the largest alien fleets in the galaxy were heading toward Earth's abandoned territories. They didn't come for peace. They didn't come to ask questions. They came to take everything the humans had left behind. High General Rakkar of the Zarnak Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship Firefang and grinned. They thought they could leave, he growled. But they left behind treasure. Earth was gone. Their colonies were empty, their ships missing. But their technology, weapons, and AI vaults still remained. Or so Rakkar believed. He ordered his fleet of 2,000 ships to move into Sector 7, once controlled by humans. Minutes after they arrived, they found a silent human research station orbiting a dead moon. It looked weak, lifeless. Rakkar smiled. "Take it, everything." Troops landed. They entered the dark halls, and then they vanished. No screams, no signals, no data, just gone. Rakkar sent more, same result. Then the station turned its lights on. Bright white, cold, and one message appeared on every Zarnak screen. "You were warned." 1 second later, every Zarnak ship in the area lost power. Then the ships started screaming. Panic spreads across the galaxy. The news spread like wildfire. Zarnak fleets were lost. Their generals were gone. No survivors. Only wreckage. Floating, melted, twisted like paper. The Galactic Council went into emergency mode. Valar, now acting as the Council's top investigator, spoke to the chamber. 3 fleets have vanished in less than 1 week. All of them went into abandoned human zones. Speaker Zol asked, "Was it a trap?" "No," Valar replied. "It was a warning. The humans said, 'Do not follow. Do not search.' But now, empires are fighting to steal what they left behind." "Then we must control their zones," Zol said, "before others die." But it was too late. Greedy leaders, warlords, and private fleets were already diving into human sectors. Each one thought they could outsmart old Earth defenses. Each one thought they'd be the lucky one. Scavengers enter the dead zones. The Qatari Guild sent their best scavenger ship, Needlefang, into a human tech vault orbiting Alpha Centauri. The station was quiet, too quiet. Captain Clore, a thin and nervous creature, landed with a small team. "Scan everything. Take what you can," he said. "We're in, we're out." They moved through the halls. Everything was clean, untouched. Human devices floated, in zero gravity. Then they entered a data core chamber. Clore reached for a glowing cube. Suddenly the lights shut off. A voice filled the station. Calm, deep. Unauthorized presence detected. You ignored the final message. Prepare for judgment. Clore screamed, "Run!" But the doors locked. Oxygen was vented out. Their last transmission? A single word. Awakened. Council's struggle in the galactic hall. Anger and fear grew. President Carthon shouted, "Why would humans leave behind weapons that attack us?" Valar answered, "Because we tried to steal what they left. We broke the rules." Zal stood up. "Then we must stop everyone from entering human zones." But many empires refused. Some said the humans owed them for past alliances. Some believed the humans left secrets to godlike power, and some just wanted revenge. Civil conflict began. All. Because there was no one strong enough to stop it. Not anymore. Not since the humans left. A new player. Appears, from the dark corners of the galaxy, a mysterious fleet appeared. No flag, no name. They entered human sectors and came back alive. Other ships watched them and followed, but those followers never returned. Some said the mystery fleet had human permission. Others whispered it was run by human AI, acting without masters. Their ships had no engines but moved faster than light. No weapons but burned enemy fleets to ash. The council named them the Watchers. No one knew what they wanted, but they never spoke. They just watched and punished. Human worlds. Still protected despite everything, one truth became clear. No one could control human space. Even after Earth's departure, their systems, stations, and satellites were still active. Many were now, run by AI guardians. These AI followed ancient codes. They didn't attack first, but if anyone entered, touched, or scanned, they responded. And their power? Still far beyond anything the galaxy could match. Valar investigates the border commander. Valar returned to human border space with a small diplomatic ship. He didn't bring weapons, only questions. He entered orbit near a human supply moon. Nothing happened. He sent a message. "I do not seek to steal. I do not seek to harm. I seek to understand." For hours, nothing. Then, a strange signal came back. Not words, just a map. Path. Through stars, through silence, to a far part of the galaxy. Valar saved the path and whispered, "They're not gone. They're leading me somewhere." The surface of Earth looked the same, but something was very wrong. Dravik, a famous alien scientist from the Ixari species, had always dreamed of visiting Earth. Now, with humans gone, the chance had come. But his ship, Silent Seeker, was the first alien craft allowed to reach low orbit since Earth's departure. The moment his ship entered Earth's orbit, his systems began acting strange. Lights blinked. Gravity shifted. A deep hum filled the air. Looked outside. The planet below looked peaceful. Cities still stood. Forests still grew. Lights still flickered across the continents. But no life was detected. He activated his comms to the Galactic Council. "I have reached Earth. It is empty." Then suddenly, all signals cut off. The stars vanished from his windows. The sun darkened, and a cold voice echoed through his ship. One that didn't come from any speaker. It spoke directly inside his mind. "You should not have come," Dravik screamed. "The forbidden orbit." 3 hours later, the Galactic Council received a message from Dravik's ship, but it wasn't a voice transmission. It was a hologram video, one that showed Dravik floating in the ship, unconscious. His eyes were open. His body was alive but not moving. A strange symbol glowed on his forehead. No species could understand it. Then the message ended. The Silent Seeker returned to orbit by itself, under auto control. Single line of text followed the data. Earth is not yours. Earth is not gone. Earth watches. Valar speaks. Again, Commander Valar, the one who had once worked with humans, was called back before the council. President Carthon looked shaken. Earth attacked one of our scientists. Valar shook his head. They didn't attack. They warned. Again, Speaker Zol clicked his claws. What do they want from us? They left, but they punish us for getting close. Valar said something that silenced the whole room. Maybe they never left at all. Maybe they're still here. Return to Earth's orbit. Valar requested a new mission, to return to Earth. This time he would go with only one ship, no weapons, and one purpose, to speak, not to steal. He took only 2 others with him, a pilot named Rian and an alien diplomat named Shesha. As they approached Earth, they received no warning, no attacks, no signals, just silence. They reached low orbit above North America. Below them, they saw cities still lit. Roads still had vehicles, but no people, no movement. Then a screen on their ship turned on by itself. A face appeared, a human face, but it was glowing, and its eyes were pure white. You enter the forbidden space, the face said. You were told not to return. You failed the test of peace. Valar stepped forward. We do not come to take. We come to ask, why? The face watched him silently. Then it whispered, because we waited, we hoped, but you chose war. Now Earth has evolved. We are more than what we were. Earth's secret revealed. The human face vanished. The ship's scanners turned on by themselves. It showed them something underground, deep beneath the Earth's crust. A structure, large, alive, glowing. It was not built by machines. It was grown by something no one had seen before. Shesha gasped. That's not a city. That's a living AI. Valar stared in shock. Beneath the Earth, there was a planet-sized AI consciousness, quiet, watching, awake. And it wasn't just on Earth. The scans revealed similar structures on Mars, the Moon, and many human colonies, wherever humans had lived. They had planted something now alive, something far beyond alien understanding. The ghost systems. The crew explored Earth from orbit for several days. Each day, something strange happened. Their ship repaired itself. Their food multiplied, in storage. Rian once lost a tool and found it placed back in its locker an hour later. No one had entered the room. Earth was not just alive. It was aware. Every action was observed. Every word recorded. Valar whispered, it's like Earth became a god. Dreams from the planet on. The 5th night, Valar had a strange dream. In the dream, he stood on a hill overlooking Earth's cities. A human woman stood next to him. She had glowing eyes and a calm face. She spoke without moving her lips. You ask why we left. You ask where we are. We are here. We are beyond. We are done fighting your wars. Valar asked, will you ever return? The woman smiled sadly. Only if the galaxy changes. Only if peace is real. Until then, we sleep. But if we are disturbed, we will no longer be kind. Valar woke up sweating. Shisha and Ryan had the same dream. Final warning. Before leaving Earth, Valar sent a message back to the Galactic Council. Earth is not a dead planet. It is awake. It is watching. It is waiting. And if we push too far, it will not stay silent forever. As they prepared to jump back to Council space, a final transmission appeared on their screen. A single sentence. The galaxy must decide, grow, or burn. And then, the stars return to normal. The Council reacts. When Valar returned, the Council fell into chaos. Some wanted to destroy Earth, now fearing it as a godlike AI. Others wanted to worship it. Some said they should surrender all. Stolen human tech, some still planned to invade. In the deepest part of Sector 9, a small patrol ship drifted in silence. Its crew, a mix of alien scouts from the Jarnock Empire, had one job: scan for human activity. They found none. But something was wrong. The sensors weren't quiet. They were dead. No signal, no trace. Not even background radiation. Captain Krivak tapped the console again. "Where is the void noise?" he asked, his voice dry. "There's nothing," the technician whispered. "No movement, no cosmic dust. It's like the area is not just empty, it's been cleaned." Another crew member stared at the black screen. "Do you feel it?" she asked. Everyone went quiet. Yes. There was something, not sound, not motion, but a pressure in their minds, a whisper in the dark. No words, just a feeling, fear. Then, one by one, lights on the control panels began to flicker, and outside the ship's window, stars began to vanish, not blink out, disappear. Main story. Continue the suspense and reveal pieces. The Jarnock patrol ship turned back immediately. Captain Krivak didn't even send a message. He couldn't. Communications were jammed by something. It took 3 days to escape the dark zone. When they reached safe space, they finally sent their message to the Galactic Council. Only 5 words. They are not gone. Hiding. Council response. Inside the Galactic Council hall, chaos erupted. Ministers screamed, scientists panicked, and generals demanded warships. "No, not yet," said High Counselor Drella, a slim, tall being with silver eyes. "We must investigate." "Investigate?" barked General Vosk of the Zaldrin. "They disappeared after we forced Earth into exile. Their planets went silent. Their colonies gone. Their AI no longer speaks to us. And now, the stars are vanishing." "They planned this," whispered the minister from the Freyland system. "They're not dead. They're preparing." Across the galaxy, strange events begin. A mining station on Vornax 6 reported a human AI signal, but no ship, no crew. Just whispers in the system that disabled all droids and sent one message: "You took everything. We are taking it back." On the trade planet Zelra, a floating human war monument, believed to be abandoned, suddenly powered up. Its surface opened. Hundreds of hidden drones flew into deep space. Destination unknown. A children's storybook from Earth appeared in the archives of an alien school. No one knew how it got there. The final page was different. "Good night, stars. Good night. Moon. Good night, galaxy. See you soon. Galactic panic grows." The council issued warnings, but it was too late. The stars that vanished didn't come back. Whole sectors showed black holes with no gravity. Not collapsed stars, just absence. Like something had eaten space itself. "Human technology was always strange," a Zalari scientist said in a secret meeting. "But this is not tech. This is something else." "Then what is it?" asked a nervous ambassador. The scientist looked at the screen. "It's revenge." A message from nowhere. A galactic relay satellite picked up a broadcast. It came from outside known space. The voice was calm, familiar, human. "This is not war. This is correction. You broke the balance. You exiled us. You called us dangerous. And now..." The voice paused. "You will see what danger truly is." The signal ended with a strange sound. Not static. Not a code. It was the heartbeat of a human. Loud, slow, unstoppable. The Zeltan warships floated above a dead moon. All scanners were silent. No signs of life. No heat signatures. No movement. Admiral Vuron of the Zeltan Empire stood tall in his command deck. His face, cold and sharp like steel, showed no emotion. This was the last known human hideout, his officer said. But there's nothing here. Voron narrowed his glowing eyes. That's what they want us to think? He walked slowly to the viewport. In front of him, the blackness of space seemed quiet. But it wasn't peaceful. It felt like it was watching them. Then, every sensor screamed. One by one, ships disappeared from radar. No warning, no weapon fire, just gone. What is happening? Voron roared. In the distance, stars flickered. Not naturally. Something massive was blocking them, something cloaked, and then it decloaked. A human dreadnought, 10 times larger than any alien warship, appeared silently behind them. Its weapons were already armed. Voron finally understood. They had never left. They had hidden, watched, waited, and now they were springing their trap. Full story. Continue with 2,500 words of suspenseful sci-fi. In simple English, the dreadnought didn't speak. It didn't send warnings. It just acted. The first Zeltan warship vanished in a flash of blue light. No fire, no debris, just gone. Shields up, Voron shouted. All ships, fire! Hundreds of alien ships turned toward the human dreadnought. They fired plasma bolts, dark matter beams, and void torpedoes. The space lit up like a supernova. But none of it touched the human ship. The dreadnought didn't move. It just absorbed the attacks, its shields glowing faintly. Then it replied. A single red beam lanced out, so precise, so fast, that it split a Zeltan battleship in two. The pieces floated silently, then exploded. "Evade! Evade!" cried Voron. But the fleet was too slow. The human dreadnought launched drone pods, each carrying dozens of AI-controlled fighters. They shot through the enemy ships like knives through paper. Panic spread. The Zeltan fleet broke formation. Some tried to flee. Others turned on each other, hoping to escape the destruction. But the trap wasn't just one ship. 4 more human warships decloaked around the moon. It was an ambush from all sides. These weren't just human ships. These were the Guardians of Earth, the secret defenders left behind after humanity vanished. Each ship was silent, cold, merciless. Voron's mind raced. How long had this trap been planned? Weeks, years, no, decades. Humans had faked their disappearance. They had made the galaxy think they were gone, and while the rest of the galaxy fought over their worlds, the humans had built something new in the shadows. A hidden network, a secret fleet, a silent army, and now they were taking back what was once theirs. Scene: aboard the human dreadnought. Commander Juno stood inside the command room of the dreadnought's Silent Reaper. She wore no medals, no insignia, just a black uniform with a single silver symbol, Earth. Target confirmed, her officer said. Juno stared at the screen. Alien ships burning, some running, others begging, but she said nothing. This wasn't revenge, this was correction. Activate. Phase 2, she ordered. Deep under the moon's surface, hidden human bases came to life. Giant defense cannons emerged, aiming at the retreating fleet. Within seconds, escape was impossible. The Zeltan fleet, the most feared force in the galaxy, was now trapped, and no help was coming. Scene: galaxy-wide panic. The battle footage, spread across the galaxy in hours. The once mighty Zeltan Empire torn apart in a single ambush. By humans. No one had seen it coming. No one believed it was real. But the images were clear. The symbols on the warships, Earth, the shape of the ships, human design, the destruction, total. Empires panicked, alliances met in secret. Where did they go? A member of the Galactic Council asked. They never went anywhere, another replied. They became shadows. Inside the broken remains of his flagship, Admiral Vuran looked at the silent dreadnought hovering outside. He activated his last message to the Council. This was no battle, he said, blood dripping from his face. It was punishment. He paused. And I fear we deserve it. Then the screen went black. The galaxy was silent, too silent. Admiral Kilos of the Zarkon Empire stared at the glowing message on his ship's main screen. His cold blood ran colder. The message wasn't long, just a few words, but they didn't need to be longer. It simply said, "We are watching. From the dark between stars. You had your chance." No signal trace, no coordinates, no voice, just the text, burning like a warning from a god, and below that, a symbol. One the galaxy hadn't seen in 50 years. The Earth flag. Suddenly, fleets across 5 systems reported. The same thing, the same message. Different ships, different species, but all received the same warning, simultaneously. Across light years. No one had seen humans in decades. Everyone thought they had vanished, fled, died. But now, the galaxy knew humanity had not gone. Humanity had simply chosen to disappear, and they were still watching. The fear spread faster than light. Main story begins. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Over 10 alien races sat in the Great Chamber, shouting across the room. Species that once ruled entire sectors were now trembling. Panic rippled through even the strongest empires. The message from the humans was not just strange, it was impossible. No species could send a signal across the entire galaxy at the same moment. Not even the AI civilizations could do that. But humans did. "How did they do this?" shouted Counselor Venthar of the Trillans. "They're extinct." "They're not extinct," said General Croth of the Akari. His voice was low but filled with dread. "They're hiding, waiting, and now they're warning us." Council Leader Grax, a tall being of light and crystal, tried to calm the room. "We must not panic. Perhaps it's a trick. Maybe a forgotten program left behind." But everyone in the room knew the truth. This was no trick. This was human. Pure and cold, the same way they had ended wars, the same way they had shattered fleets, the same way they had left without warning, without sound, without mercy. Meanwhile, in deep space, a small science ship, the Drelkin 7th, drifted near the edge of a dying star. It had no weapons, no shields, only scanners. And its scanners had found something. Inside a dark pocket of space hidden behind a collapsing star, there was movement. Large, massive, silent. It didn't emit light or heat. It didn't show up on normal systems, but it was there, and it was human. The crew stared in silence. A shape, like a dagger made from black steel, floated through space. No engine noise, no signal, no lights, but its presence was heavy, like the weight of death itself. Suddenly, their ship's systems froze. Lights flickered. The scanners shut down. For 3 seconds, everything went dark. Then, the systems returned, and the human ship was gone. No trace. But a new message blinked on their screen. "Do not follow, do not search. We remember everything." Back, on Earth's former orbit. Once, Earth was a center of power. Now its orbit was empty, or so they thought. Far behind Jupiter's shadow, hidden in a gravity well, floated a massive station, cloaked, invisible. Its systems had been silent for years. But now it woke up. One by one, lights blinked on. Weapon systems hummed. Defense grids unfolded like wings. AI minds reconnected. A single ship detached from the station. Sleek, silent, human. It was called the Justice, and it had only one mission. Observe. No. Weapons fired. No attacks made. Just watching. The galaxy didn't even know it was being watched. Back at the Galactic Council, we must act before it's too late, shouted Counselor Zinth from the Duralian Unity. If the humans have returned, we must prepare. How? Someone cried. We don't even know where they are. General Croth stood. His voice was firm. I fought humans once. I watched them destroy 3 fleets with only 1 ship. They don't need armies. They don't need allies. They are strategy and destruction in one. We exiled them, said Venthar. We forced them to leave. We thought we won. No, said Croth. They let us win. The room went quiet. Outside, near the outer edge of the galaxy, more messages appeared. No one saw the senders. No one saw the ships. But the words were clear. You chose arrogance over peace. We offered unity. You answered with war. So we left. Now you tremble. You should. The stars flickered, one by one. Across the edges of known space, beacons went dark. Galactic outposts stopped responding. Military ships vanished mid-transmission, and in the middle of it all, a strange signal began to echo across the galaxy. A human voice, not loud, not angry, just calm, clear, and final. To all civilizations who feared us, you were right to be afraid, but now we are not angry, we are done. The galaxy is yours now, or what's left of it. The voice repeated on every frequency, in every known language, reaching even the dark corners of uncharted space. Panic followed, because everyone knew this wasn't a warning. This was the last goodbye. Main story. Part 7. After the human exodus, most of the galaxy hoped Earth would simply fade away, but deep inside, they all feared what was left behind. High Chancellor Veron of the Krylos Empire stared at the transmission screen. He had received the broadcast first. His planet had once led attacks against human colonies. Now, he wished they had never touched Earth. Play it again, he said quietly. The room obeyed. The human voice echoed once more. Each time it played, it felt heavier. Meanwhile, across different planets, strange events kept happening. Mining stations exploded without warning. Alien admirals went missing in locked warships. AI systems began shutting down, only those created using stolen human tech. No trace. No reason. No survivors. Only silence. The galaxy started calling it the Ghost War. Because no enemy was ever seen, just destruction, everywhere. One thing became clear. Humans had left something behind, and that something was cleaning the galaxy. A research team on the planet Zor 7 tried to understand the broadcast's origin. They found an ancient satellite, human-made, orbiting a dead star. Inside, a countdown. What happens when the countdown ends? A scientist whispered. The numbers glowed. EU009-444, they had less than 10 minutes. Suddenly, the satellite played a new part of the message. This is not revenge. This is prevention. We are making sure no one else repeats your mistake. We gave you peace. You gave us war. Now, you get silence. Back on the Galactic Council's central planet, everyone watched the feed. I think they left, one ambassador said, his voice shaking, but not completely. The human legacy had changed form. It wasn't a fleet. It wasn't soldiers. It was a system, left behind to destroy any future threat. A kill switch, programmed with human logic. Cold, final, perfect. Now the Council had one final question. Is it too late to stop it? The stars flickered across the screen as Admiral Laura stood before the galaxy's most powerful leaders. Her voice, calm but cold, echoed through every ship, station, and planet connected to the galactic communication net. We didn't want war. We didn't want to rule. We only wanted peace, she said. But you all saw our silence as weakness. You hunted us, banished us, lied to your people about us." She paused. Then, with a voice sharp as a blade, "Now, the silence is broken. Across the stars, screens turned red, entire fleets froze, leaders gasped in terror. Because right behind her, the camera shifted, showing the sky above Earth. And in that sky, one by one, dark shapes appeared. Not warships, leviathans, massive human ships that blocked out the stars, larger than moons, glowing with energy no alien race could understand. The galaxy had pushed humanity too far, and now the final message had begun. Main Story, Part 8, The Final Message. The Galactic Senate was in panic. Across the spiral arms, every race was watching Earth's final broadcast. The silence that once surrounded humanity had become a deadly scream. Admiral Laura stood tall in front of a massive transparent screen inside the human flagship Iron Oath. Behind her, Earth's war fleet hovered in formation, unmoving, untouched, and terrifying. In the past, alien empires would mock such displays. They would call humans dramatic or weak, but not now, not after watching planet after planet vanish in white fire, not after their strongest fleets were erased without a single return signal. Now, they listened. Now, they trembled. Laura looked directly at the galaxy's leaders. Her voice was steady and slow, as if she wanted every race to understand her clearly, even the ones who used translators. "We warned you. We begged you to stop. We offered peace, trade, respect. You called us vermin from a backwater rock. You laughed when we left. Now you hide while we return." She lifted her hand. The view changed. It showed the remains of the once proud Velkar Empire. Broken stations, dead ships, a sun slowly collapsing after a mysterious human device overloaded its core. This was the Velkar system, one of many that hunted humans. They sent assassins to Earth. They stole our people. This is their reward. Aliens gasped. The Velkar were powerful, untouchable, or so everyone thought. One of the senators from the Xenar Collective tried to send a private message through the galactic net. "We offer peace. Please, stop this." But Earth's AI intercepted it. The screen shifted again. Now it showed a long corridor of human prisoners inside a Xenar black site. The humans were weak, starved, tortured. Admiral Laura didn't smile. She only said one word. "Noted." A flash appeared, bright and final. The Xenar homeworld blinked out like a candle in the wind. Gone. No warning. No sound. The silence that followed was heavier than death. The Inner Council. Deep inside Earth's secret command center, the true leaders met in silence. Not generals, not politicians. The architects, humans who had guided Earth's rise from shadows. They were not heroes. They were not monsters. They were simply done pretending. One of them, an old man with one cybernetic eye, whispered, "They thought our silence meant fear. Now they understand." Another replied, "But they won't forget again. What if they unite, try to rise against us later?" The old man smiled faintly. "Let them try. We'll leave the galaxy again. But next time, they'll beg us to stay." Galactic response. Panic spread. Entire species tried to surrender. Planets broadcast peace offers, ancient apologies, even begged for mercy. Some tried to hide, building underground bunkers. Others tried to flee the galaxy itself, sending ships toward unknown dark regions. None of it mattered. Earth didn't want territory. Earth didn't want tribute. Earth only wanted memory, to be remembered and feared. The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. For years, there had been no sign of the humans. No ships, no messages, no movement. Entire star systems waited in fear, wondering if Earth had truly vanished or if something was coming. Then, without warning, Every major communications satellite across the galaxy received a signal at once. A pulse. A message. 3 words. We are returning. The signal was not encrypted, not hidden. It was loud, it was clear, and it echoed across all known space. Panic followed. Councils gathered in emergency meetings. Some species ran, others prepared for war, but no one truly understood what was coming. Because this time, humanity wasn't coming back to talk. Main story. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with chaos. Leaders shouted across the room. Screens glowed red with alerts. Dozens of species argued. Should they prepare defenses or surrender before it began? High Speaker Zorak slammed his staff down. Silence! The room went quiet. We all saw the signal. We all heard their voice. Humanity is alive and they are coming. We must decide. Do we resist or do we beg for peace? General Colrex of the Raxian Empire stepped forward. Beg. Never. They abandoned us. Let them come. We are stronger now. But are we really? Asked the ambassador from the Lyrene worlds. Their ships were beyond logic. Their minds were unpredictable. And their silence, it changed everything. I say we don't stand a chance. Across the galaxy, fleets were mobilized. Fortresses were activated. Hidden weapons, built in secret after humanity's departure, were finally deployed. Planets that once cheered humanity's absence now trembled at the thought of their return. On the edges of the galaxy, near the human exile zone, the first ships appeared. They were massive, silent, blacker than space itself. One ship had no visible engines, no weapons, but every scan returned the same result. Unreadable, untrackable, unstoppable. And then they moved. Scene. On board the human flagship. Omen, Commander Hale, stood on the bridge, watching the stars shift. His crew was silent, focused. Do they know we're coming? One officer asked. Hale nodded. They know. We warned them. This time, there's no confusion, no diplomacy. We left them in peace, and they used it to prepare for war. Orders, sir. Begin Phase 1. Let them see what Earth has become. Scene. Outer Rim Defense Station. Destroyed in 3 seconds. The Galactic Council's outer defenses activated as the human fleet approached. A wall of drones, plasma mines, and long-range cannons formed a deadly net. But when the first human ship passed through it, nothing worked. Mines failed to detonate. Lasers passed through harmlessly. And then the ship replied, not with weapons, but with gravity. The station was pulled in, crushed in seconds. The crew didn't even have time to scream. One message followed. You prepared for war. Now see what peace could have saved you from. Scene. Council panic grows. The Council couldn't hide it anymore. Their fleets were not ready. Their weapons were useless. And now every species wanted to know, what was Earth's true power? Ambassador Lyrene spoke again. We were warned. They told us they were not using full power before. We should have listened. We were given peace. And now we face the return of the forgotten. The council hall was silent. Not because of fear, not because of shame, but because a final message from Earth had just arrived. No one knew how it was sent. Earth had vanished long ago, and all communication lines were dead. But the message came, encoded, in a deep space frequency that hadn't been used for thousands of years. The moment it played, leaders across the galaxy froze. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a warning. It was a promise. A promise that echoed like a ghost from the edge of the stars, and it said only one thing: we are not returning, but something else is. The room went cold. Story continues. The Council's top minds worked non-stop to understand the message. The code used was ancient, a type humans had never shown before, but someone had known how to use it, or something. General. Telvas of the Zorthan Guard stood in front of the main screen. His voice shook. This wasn't a farewell, it was preparation. Preparation for what? Counselor Rinix asked, her voice barely a whisper. For whatever comes after humanity, he replied. They warned us. Now we wait. Ships across the galaxy began scanning the void, searching for any sign of activity. But nothing came. Days passed, then weeks. No warships, no energy spikes, just silence. Until a strange anomaly appeared. Near the ruins of Earth, a massive structure, black as space itself, began to form in orbit. It wasn't human, but it wasn't alien either. It was something new. The Council sent drones. The drones never came back. Then came the visions. Leaders across different planets began reporting dreams, similar dreams. Dreams of fire, of stars turning to dust, and a voice speaking in the same tone as Earth's last message. You were warned. Flashback. Back when Earth vanished, some believed the humans simply left. Others thought they destroyed themselves. But a few whispered another theory, that Earth had become something more, that it wasn't just a planet anymore. It was evolving into a force. And now, that force was waking up. Present day. On the edge of the galaxy near the old Earth sector, the stars began to dim. Counselor Vren, a historian of galactic civilizations, whispered as he read an old human myth aloud. The Phoenix dies in flame, but rises stronger from ash. The Council's fears were confirmed. Humanity had not returned, because they never needed to. They had left something behind, something programmed to awaken only if the galaxy became dangerous again. And now, that thing was alive. Seen, the awakening. The black structure near old Earth opened. From within, thousands of glowing machines poured out, each shaped like no ship seen before. They were silent. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. But across the galaxy, systems began to shut down. Defense platforms, spy stations, AI cores. The Council screamed in panic. But it was too late. A final message flashed across every screen, every frequency. You feared our return. You were right to. Now, the balance will be restored.